Hello and welcome back to Higher Sense with Haz. And you know today's a serious video because there's no spinning around. So this is a topic that I've had a few questions about, and it's fragrances, how to start your collection. So in this video, I'm going to discuss what I would do if I was starting my collection again and how I'd go about it. Hopefully, this will help anyone who's new to the game to have a game plan, something that they can stick to, and then they won't fall into some of the pitfalls that many of us fall into. Because remember, prevention is better than cure. So if you want to avoid potential financial issues, fragrance addiction and things like that, check out my other video on fragrance addiction and then come back to this one. That will give you all of the preparatory tools for your journey. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to discuss how to start your fragrance journey. So first of all, set a budget. Now, what I mean by that is whatever your income is, you've got your bills that you need to pay, other things, food, rates, water, fuel for your car, insurance, whatever your family need and stuff like that. So have a look at your income and then decide how much per week or per month you want to set aside for this hobby. And remember, it's a hobby. It shouldn't be an addiction or a major part of your life, but something that you can enjoy. And the first part about enjoying it is to budget correctly. So have a look how much disposable income you've got. Disposable being the key part here, because I don't want you putting yourself in debt or spending more than your means and things like that. So have a look how much you've got per week or per month. Let's just say you've got, 150, 200 pounds per month that you're willing to put into this interest or this hobby. Then every month, every calendar month, for example, you've got your, say, 200 pound budget. And then every time you buy a fragrance, deduct it from there. And then once your 200 pound is spent, then there's no more fragrances until the next calendar month. You have to be strict on this, because if you're not, this is when you'll start spending into next month's budget. You'll start looking at next month's wage and potentially borrowing money towards that. You don't want to do that. And remember, a budget means the maximum you can spend on fragrances per month. You don't have to spend that budget. So let's just say it's a quiet month, or not much comes up to buy, or there's not much that has interest, and you spend only £100. That means you can potentially carry that £100 over to the next month if you want. So then the next month you can have up to £300 to spend. You don't have to do that. You could just stick to £200 every month, and if you don't spend it, fine. Spend it on other things, which is great. Or you can roll it over, and potentially that's good, because then you're thinking, I'm not just spending it for spending's sake. I'm going to keep it for something special. Or I'm going to keep it for something I really want. That's a good thing to do. So don't spend beyond your means. The second point, and just something else, I've had a few haters, helpful people who have made a few comments about scripting and saying, you just read from a script and things like that. And I responded and I said, look, there's important points that I don't want people to miss. So yes, I do have bullet points. And for all those out there that love movies, I'm sorry to tell you, but movies are scripted. And if you like sitcoms and you love Friends, again, Friends are scripted. So I do apologise, but sometimes I do have scripts with bullet points with important information that I don't want to miss. So for example, like here's today's bullet points. So yes, that's just to make sure that I don't miss anything of importance for you. Okay, right. Okay, next point is to join fragrance groups. I personally wouldn't buy retail, i.e. from department stores at full price, unless I had a very good discount code, or it was something that was limited edition. And basically, if you don't buy it there, you risk missing out. But they're the anomalies. Join fragrance groups. Mainly, I'm on fragrance groups on Facebook. And there's fellow enthusiasts like myself, and we'll buy and we'll sell fragrances. We'll help each other out. It's a great community. And it also means that you can get fragrances at good prices, sometimes even great prices. So yes, join the fragrance groups so that you can make your purchases on there. Because what you got to remember is sometimes I buy half bottles or quarter bottles. I don't necessarily buy full bottles, because with this collection, as you can see, and this is just part of the collection, Oops, sorry, I'll just close this drawer here. See, everything's raw on Higher Sense, and who doesn't like it raw, right? Yeah, so what was I talking about? Yes, so you don't have to buy full bottles. I'm never going to get through full bottles of things, so I prefer to buy partial bottles. And if I buy a partial bottle, I'm also going to save money. That helps my budget. So that's another good thing. So yes, get on the groups and potentially buy from the groups. Number 3, test before you buy. I wouldn't recommend blind buying until you've got experience. But the other thing I mean is get to the big department stores. Go to the counters. They'll be more than happy to spray you with stuff and let you test things because they want your business. So go and test fragrances and see what kind of fragrance you like. Do you like freshies? Do you like gourmands? Do you like woody stuff? Do you like deep earthy notes? Do you like oud? Do you like oud? There's something for the future. Come back in at a later date and we'll discuss oud. Yeah, so find out what you like. And then when you find out what notes you like and what type of fragrances you like, then you can focus on what you're going to purchase and what you're going to buy. Also from the groups, there's people who do decants. And a decant is where someone's got a full bottle of something and they might not use the full bottle. So they'll take a portion out of it, say 5 ml or 2 ml, put it in a small bottle. You can buy it off them for a fraction of the price, send it through the post. You can test it. If you like it, you could potentially buy the full bottle when it comes up for sale. And if you don't like it, guess what? You've only spent £5, £10, and you haven't wasted hundreds of pounds on a full bottle. So decants are an excellent thing in the group, and also testing in department stores is also very good. Partially mentioned here. Next, I would then have categories. And what I mean by that is, for example, my fragrances, albeit I've got my display fragrances here, my main collections next door and downstairs, I've got mine separated into summer freshies, gourmands, florals, green and earthy notes, and then other, which has got me crazy stuff in. So I've got me different categories there. And then what I do, so you can do them by categories by what type of fragrance they are, as I've mentioned, or you could do it seasonally, spring fragrances, summer fragrances, autumn and winter, or you could do work fragrances, social fragrances, date night fragrances, or you can do a mixture of the 3. But once you've got your section set out, then you can focus on buying for each section. Try and balance it so you've got one for each occasion. It's better to have 3 or 4 in each category rather than 6 in one and only 2 in another, because then you haven't got much selection. Because remember, in this fragrance game, selection is part of the fun. Once you've got some choices, that's great, because nobody wants to wear the same thing day after day. And if you do, then maybe this isn't the hobby for you, because I look at fragrance collecting and using as enjoyment. It's a fashion accessory. Some people might have it because they want the nice collection, the display, fantastic. Other people might want to smell great. That's good as well. Other people, like myself, want it as a fashion accessory. So then I've got, my dress sense, what I'm deciding to wear. Because remember, clothing is important. Go to the gym, get in shape, wear nice clothes, trim yourself up well, make sure you shave and take care of your hair and whatever else it may be. And then for me, the fragrance is the icing on the cake. That's the nice little bit which rounds everything off. Look good, smell good. Because remember, clothing gets you noticed, but fragrance gets you remembered. Then after you've got your categories, I would have a limit. And what I mean by have a limit is think to yourself, right, I'm going to get 20 fragrances. And then once you've bought those 20 fragrances, then I would say, right, you can either turn around and say, right, financially I've been responsible, mentally there's not a problem, I'm not getting stressed out here, because remember, if you blow your budget and you have financial difficulties, that'll cause stress. Stress causes problems in relationships and health, and you don't want that. This is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. So if this starts getting you stressed, take 2 steps back, look at what the issues are and address them immediately. Prevention is better than cure. So yes, have a limit. Once you get to 20 fragrances, think to yourself, is everything going well? Am I enjoying what I've got? Have I got a nice balance? Is my budget fine? And if the answer is yes, you could then say, right, okay, well, over the next year, I'm going to increase that to 40 fragrances. And then increase it to 40 fragrances. And then once you get to that point, you can decide to yourself, do I want to expand this collection depending on my circumstances, or am I happy with what I've got? And then sell before you buy. At that stage, after a year or two, let's say you've got 50 fragrances, there might be a fragrance that you liked originally because you're new to the game, or your nose isn't very developed, or you just enjoyed it at the time. But then in a couple of years' time, something else may have come out in the same category, which is better than what you had. So you may look back and think 2 years ago, oh, I had this fragrance and I loved it then, but there's this new one that I've got. And to be honest, I would never select that one over this one. Well, if that's the case, sell the old one. There'll be somebody out there who wants it. And at the end of the day, it's money that's just sitting there. If it's part of a collection and a display, fine. But if you've got a fragrance, let's say in a summer freshie, and it's 5 out of 6, and by that I mean, if you were selecting a summer freshie, it would be down the bottom end of the selection list. Just sell it. Sell it and put that money towards buying something in a category or a fragrance that you really want. That would be my advice. So just an example, when I was talking about budgeting before, sorry to jump back, but I know it's only February, but I've bought a few fragrances. There's a few that, it's like buses. Once one comes along, they all come along. So sometimes I'll sit for weeks looking out for good deals or just really special things that I want, and there's nothing knocking about then. Everything comes at once. So here we are in early February, and my budget's pretty much already spent. So I got New York Intense by Nikolai. From the groups, I also bought Le Bois Glacé, or Les Bois Glacé for those haters out there, by Montclair. That's another purchase. And my final purchase, which I'm really excited and I'll probably review it, is Bulgari Orom. And this is in a lovely box, and I know for a fact that the bottle is gorgeous and it'll look fantastic in my collection, but it better smell good. So there you go. That's my budget for the month, near enough spent. So for me, if I want to buy any more fragrances, I've got to wait till next month, or if something really special comes up, I'll sell fragrances before I buy. So let's just say another fragrance comes up and it's 150 quid. Since I'm disciplined, yeah, I may well buy it on the spot, because sometimes in groups things go like this. But then I'll say, right, I'm going to sell £150 worth of fragrances this month to balance it out. So that's what I'd do. So yeah, pretty much that is hopefully a brief introduction on how to start your fragrance collection. And remember, they're just ideas that I've come up with from past experience and knowledge, and this is how I would go about starting my fragrance collection. Obviously, as things go along, you'll learn new things, not only about yourself, but about the hobby and the collection. But the key point is, have a game plan and try and stick to it. It can be difficult at times. And like I mentioned before, if you're at the stage where you're already a collector but you've kind of lost your way, hopefully this video will help you and give you some points and tips. Or if you've got some issues with addiction, check my other video out that I released very recently, and hopefully that'll help you. So yes, that is it from me, a little impromptu video. I had a few requests for it, so I thought, why not just do a raw video off the cuff and try and give you some help. And remember, until next time, I'll see you on the next one.